If you don't want to end up with a bonnet like this or a boot like that, fully stripped back, here are 5 common mistakes we see people making that could end up costing you thousands of pounds. So this video is a little bit different to the norm, but we've got a job in at the moment, a Toyota Supra, that's had quite a few poor repairs done to it in the past. And now it's costing the owner quite a considerable amount of money to put right. So here's a few tips to try and help you guys do things once and do things right. Right, so up first we have metalwork. Now, with any restoration or any repair, you gotta get your metalwork as perfect as you can first, because basically everything sits on top of that. And if you don't get that right, everything else is gonna go wrong, or you're creating yourself more work further down the line. Now this Nissan Pulsar is a perfect example of that. In the engine bay, which is a really awkward area to work in, but basically what people have done is put patches on top of rust holes, and big patches. And the problem is with that is that some of the old rusty metal is still underneath that. So you're trapping rust between 2 panels, and not only does it look ugly, you're trapping rust in there. So it doesn't matter how much bodywork you do on top of that to try and hide that patch, the rust is always going to come through eventually, and you're going to end up doing it all again. Now, not only that, you're creating a load of bodywork. To make that look pretty, you've got to do a load of filler work and smooth all that area out, and it won't look factory. When we do metal work, we try to make everything look like it was never done. So if you've got a rust hole, we won't just shove a patch on it and weld around it, which is what we call MOT welding. You know, we will cut that out and put a patch in there, the perfect size, grind it down, metal finish it. So you've got minimal filler work to do as well. So it doesn't really take you much extra time to get your metal work right first time. But on top of that, it means you've got less filler work to do. So it actually saves you time and money. It prolongs the life of your repair as well, and it's just the right way to do it. Now, this is a prime example, and another example of that was a Supra that we've just sent off to the acid dippers with multiple patches underneath it that people have probably just done in the past just to keep it through MOTs, inner seals, box sections, things like that. They're prime examples of it, and we see a lot of it in this country, well, yeah. We see a lot of it, especially on the old cars, where people just MOT welded to keep them on the road. Cheap repair, basically. In the past, years ago, you could literally put a patch on and tack it on, and that was okay. It wasn't safe, but it was okay for the MOT. It's not okay now. It always looks bad. I don't recommend doing it at all. Get it done right, get it done once, and it will last forever. Right, so number 4. Now, this is one of the most common things that we see here, and that's painting on top of paint, on top of paint, on top of paint, and multiple paint jobs just causing problems. Now, this one had been painted 18 times, which is insane. In all my years of doing bodywork, I've never seen a panel with that much paint on before, and that's the reason why there was just cracks everywhere. It's crazy. We thought there was a lot of material on there, but not that much. We couldn't do small repairs like we were hoping to do. When you come to any more than 3 paint jobs, you need to strip it back to the substrate and start again. Now, that should have been done a long time ago with this bonnet, and unfortunately with this bonnet, because it's fiberglass, the only way to get around that is to hand sand it with DAs and with your fingers, getting around all these vents. If it was metal, we could have dipped it, blasted it maybe, used an angle grinder. There's quicker ways of removing the paint, but with this one, because it's fiberglass, you can't dig into it. There's no quick fix with this one. It took 2 days to sand all this paint off, which is just crazy. Now it's down to the gel coat. We can start the repairs, and that's what these bits are. To fill in the lows. You can't. If it was metal, you could panel beat it up and get it nice and flat. Because it's fiberglass, you can't do anything. We're filling the lows and starting again. With this one, we'll probably put a polyester spray filler on it, block that back. High build prime, and then paint. Simple as that. Keep it simple. But again, if this got chipped or whatnot, after 3 times, it needs to be stripped back to this paint again and start again. So yeah, it's an expensive mistake to make. You know, you can keep having small repairs done by smart repairers, things like that, but eventually it's going to cost you more in the long run because you have to strip right the way back and start again. So yeah, expensive lesson learnt on this one. Right, step 3. Now, This is a prime example. It's getting your metalwork perfect, or the surface that you're working on perfect as you can before you start your primer and your paint and everything else. We're lucky with this one. We can get full panels. So we're getting everything as perfect as we can, especially with something as big as this, because you want to keep filler work down to a minimum. Regardless of what you're doing, you want to keep your filler work down. It saves time. You've got to do your metal work anyway. Get your metal work as perfect as you can. Less filler work, less sanding, there's less dust, less materials, all the rest of it, and it saves you time and money. And with less filler work, you've got less chance of sinking and all the rest of it, problems that go on with multiple paint layers and everything else. So yeah, always get your surface as perfect as you can. Now the Supra we're working on is a prime example of that. Now there's been the standard spoiler. People have just filled over the holes. Now those holes have sunk. It's always going to, if you just put filler over a hole, over time, it's always going to sink. Now people do it because they might want to do a quick repair at home and they don't know how to weld. It's always going to come back and bite you, because then eventually when it sinks, you've got to take it to a body shop and then pay twice for it, because they've got to dig all that back and do it properly, which is what we're doing now. So yeah, always get your surface as perfect as it can before you start the filler work. So number 2, that is keying up before paint. Now what that means is sanding down, basically, with a coarse enough sandpaper so the paint grabs. Now we see that a lot on carbon fiber panels, which is exactly what's happened with this arch trim, and the lacquer starts peeling away, and literally you could just get an airline sometimes and just blow the lacquer off, which is exactly what happened with my own carbon fiber bonnet when I bought the car. Someone in the past, they probably just wanted to re-lacquer it so it looked shiny to sell the car in the past. That's what happens a lot, to be fair. It's people being lazy, really. That's all it is. It's not sanding it down properly. And literally, I stripped the lacquer off this mostly with an airline and just blew the lacquer off. It wasn't stuck at all. So it's kind of lucky for me because I didn't have to sand it all off. Sand it down properly with a coarse enough sandpaper and then re-lacquer. And you know that lacquer and the paint is going to grab to the scratches because it needs a mechanical bond, what we call it. So it needs scratches, not too deep, but it needs scratches to basically cling to. That's exactly what's happened to this. So we've got a bit more work to do to this one yet. Sand it down, re-lacquer that, get it perfect, and the lacquer will stick to that for good. Right, so number 1 is preparation. Now this is probably the most important step of any paint job, because your paint job is only going to look as good as what's underneath it. And a prime example of that is vans. Everybody has seen old camper vans with wobbles all down the sides, or cars that are wobbly doors and arches, things like that, that people just haven't taken the time to prepare them properly and to block them out. This is why we use Pro Blocks. I designed the Pro Blocks to get things as straight as possible, because we don't want to see wobbles down the sides of our repairs. You want to keep filler work to a minimum. Always say that, keep filler work to a minimum, but you still got to block it out. You can't just use small DAs like a smart repairer might do. Quick repairs, get them in, get them out. Restoration work and what we do here, they're not quick jobs at all. We block everything, making sure everything's as straight as we can. Prime it on top of that, block that primer. If we've done a lot of work to the car, we'll prime it again, and then we'll block that down panel to panel so that the reflections in those panels look like a mirror. And they don't just look like a wobbly mirror like you might see in the circus, or a fairground ride. It needs to look straight. And a lot of these cars that we do, they're actually straighter than they ever left the factory. That's what we want. It's one thing doing a dent on a wing, but stripping a whole car back to bare metal, getting it perfectly flat takes months. And that's what you'll see a lot of us doing, is literally just sanding and prepping for weeks on end, making sure all the panel gaps are perfect, taking them off, doing the inside of the panels, putting everything back on again, gapping it up again, blocking everything down again, getting it in, masking it all up, priming the outside of the car, blocking it down again. There's so many stages, it's crazy. And every job is different. This is a thing. There's no one way to do a job. There's the right way and there's definitely a wrong way to do it. But with any restoration work that's had a lot of work, generally we will double prime everything. So that is, do all your filler work, obviously do all your metal work before that, do your filler work, high build prime it with your panels on, sometimes polyester spray filler, block that back panel to panel. So all the panels are on the car, blocking from edge to edge. Sometimes then we'll high build prime it with the panels on, block it down again, take everything apart, then you're priming inside and outside of the show cars, blocking that down again, and then you're ready for paint. And the painting process probably takes maximum of a week, depending on the car and how many panels you've got to paint. But that is such a small percentage of the time taken to restore a car, it's insane. But that's what people see. But the paintwork is only gonna look good if you do all the other stages correctly first. So yeah, that's definitely one of the most important stages of any restoration work. So this video was a little bit different to the norm. Few tips and tricks. Hopefully it helped out some of you guys along the way. Hopefully you liked what you see. We've got loads more tips and tricks that you're gonna see during the builds. If you like it, please like and subscribe. It does help us out a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.